Check, check, check. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple N Media. I am NIK NIKAM, and this is Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Today we are going to practice ILS landing at night. We will be taking off from Sugarland Regional Airport in Houston, and we'll be landing on ILS runway number 4 in Houston Hobby Airport. And this is the pathway it's going to be taking. Let's see if we can expand this a little bit. And this is the pathway we are going to be taking. And this is the entire ILS path. So let's see how it goes. Let us begin. Okay, here we are at night at Sugarland Airport. We should be ready to take off from runway 17. Let's get ready here. Looks like the plane is turned off. We don't need to taxi. We need to take off. Let's see. I guess it remembers where we left off the previous time, so we had to learn to remember that. Okay, let's see if we are. All right. Okay, let's see here. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Sugarland, and it's approximately 20 miles, but we'll cut short some of the distances. And this one, I don't know why it is showing this way. Our runway should be, let's see, what is our weather is fine. Custom toolbar, and let's get inside here in the plane and see control 1. So this is we don't need this. And control 1, this is supposed to be, let's change this to 177, because we are going in the other direction. As 177 is it didn't give us an option to do that, so we will change this here. 177 is fine. I didn't take that. Let's try this one now. $177. It doesn't want to do that. Heading. Pause. Okay, here we have a straight route, but we want to change this to IFR, which will give us an option to use the ILS runway number 4. As you can see, it changed the direction of the path, which is fine. Let's begin. Off the ground. There you go. We are ready to go. Let's check and make sure everything. Control 1 will get us here. 172. That's where we want to go. We want the heading to be changed to We want the heading to be in the direction, in the south direction. (172), that's good. So we are in the heading direction from user. And okay, let's see if we can look at here. From here, this is our first place. From user we go to GEEO, so that's our next stop, GEEO, and 172 degrees. After that we're going to set up our CDI, which is supposed to be 44 degrees. That's the Vivo R1, which we're going to be using. Let's set that at 42 degrees, which should be good. And then come back to Vivo R2 and GPS. So initially we'll be following GPS until we get to G1000. After that we're going to be engaging the autopilot, which is this one. I don't know if I can touch this. And let's get outside here. That's good. Let's make sure everything is okay, so we can take off these handles, which might make it easier for us to look at some of the controls here, the throttle and all the other stuff. And here's our ready. So let's ready to go. And here's the throttle is in and mixture is 100%. Let's get on the road here. Okay, so 60. Okay, just lift off. Let's go outside. We'll see. I think we are making some progress. Let's get some altitude, then we'll set up the autopilot. We're getting some altitude, that's good. Some more altitude we need, that's good. Okay, let's get inside here. And control 1, let's get the autopilot altitude. Oh, 6,000 vertical. Let's give like 1,000. So that's taken care of. We have an altitude which is doing fine, and we are right on track here, as you can see. And when we get to G1000, it's going to make an automatic turn, and when it does, we're going to come over here and press approach. Change this to Vivo 1 and press approach, then it should follow the ILS track all the way to the runway. Let's see if that works out. So far we are okay. The flaps are up. We can reduce the mixture a little bit. So we get a little better speed. Alright, I don't know why the speed is slowing down, because we fixed this one. The speed is slowing down, it doesn't make sense. Let's see, bring it down a little bit. Okay, something happened here. It's not going above 50 miles. Doing okay. Alright, so I don't know why the speed is coming down, it doesn't make sense. Okay, so we are coming along here. We should be making a turn, 2800 feet. Once it makes a turn here, it should automatically, we should be able to switch over to ILS path, this one, which is the entire path here, starting from here all the way here. See what happens. 400 feet is the climb. Our altitude is coming down, so it should be coming down. Let's see what we have here. We're on track here. Actually it's turning there, that's pretty good. Now it's making a nice turn, and we will take that. And our altitude 4,000 feet it wants, but our 4,000 feet is fine, so we can go and set it to 4,000 feet, which is 2,000, 4,000, and go about 500, 500 plus. 500 plus, so that's good. Control 1 again. Now we got 7 miles, so it will level off at 4,000 feet, and at cargo we have to switch over to approach mode. And as you saw, we stalled, maybe I gave the vertical speed 1,000 feet. It was too much for this aircraft to handle, so that's something to keep in mind. I think with 400 or 500 feet per minute, maybe something it can easily handle. So I guess you learn. We were almost ready to hit the ground in the middle of the flight, but right now I think it is slowly approaching the 4,000 feet. Flaps are up, and we have a throttle which we can give a little more throttle if I need to keep the speed up a little bit. That's 2,400 RPMs. We still have 6 nautical miles, and we should be able to approach 4,000 feet. After that, we have to set, from here we have to set the lower limit, which is LRAN, which is like 2,000 feet, so that it will reach that particular target and then continue to descend based on the ILS instructions. So we can go a little bit faster here, give a little more throttle. I have full throttle here actually, and we are almost approaching 5 nautical miles. Once it reaches that, it's going to make a turn at Corco. At that time we're going to engage the approach mode. From here I think the next stop is going to be 2,000 feet, which we will set, and that will enable us to engage the approach mode. So it's at 4,000 feet, so we are at 4,000 feet, Houston Southwest, which is a different airport altogether. We are not close. So Houston Southwest is somewhere around here. Okay, so we are about 3.3 nautical miles from our next point, which is Corco. From there we will be going to LRAN. LRAN I think is 2,000 feet. So as soon as we make a turn, we switch to go inside, control 1, and change this to 2000. Next we're going to press CDI, which will give us BO1, which is our 44 degrees which we have set. Then we're going to see if I can, we're going to press this approach button, and hopefully that should get the things rolling in. Here some of the things, we are going from G1000 to Carco. We have 1.4 nautical miles left. We are 92 degrees, and this is controlled by GPS. Autopilot is on. Our altitude is set at 4,000 feet, and once we cross this area, so we're going to set this one to, it's going to be making a turn. We're going to set this one automatically to 2,000 feet. That should be good. And once we have set this to 2,000 feet, we can say CDI, which will be localizer, which is coming right in line here. And once it's in straight line, we're going to press the approach button so that we will be in the straight path to runway 4 at the Houston Hobby Airport. So it is perfectly lined up. That means it is able to recognize. At this time, I think we can press the approach button, and just pay attention here. We press the approach button. Yes, GS. That means here's a glide path which is going to follow the instructions. As long as we see this GS, now GS is the active controller for this program, and now we'll just follow this. As I said, we had set this to 41 degrees, and it is following the exact pathway. And here is the airport. We are set to 2,000 feet here, if I remember correctly. So we are in the right direction. The altitude is going to change automatically based on the ILS protocol. So once we get here, and there is probably our runway, if I just switch it, I can move it a little bit. Yes. Yeah, here's the runway, most likely. Yes, it is. And we are slowly approaching our path. Let's see what happens. And it is slowly losing the altitude by itself. One thing I realized the last time was that it was coming in low, because the Hobby Airport runway is 50 feet from the sea level. So that's why I had to make sure that I keep the nose up, so that it will, I'm reducing the throttle. As you can see, the speed is 140. We don't need that speed. And as we get closer to the runway, is say 7 nautical miles, and so this is the next final limb, and we can keep it at 120. 120 should be good. All right, so 120 is good. Once we get towards the runway, we can slowly, once it reaches to 2,000 feet, we can drop the, it says 6.75 nautical miles. I don't think we are that far. We'll see. And as I said, I have maintained the speed at 100 and let's keep it at 110 miles, nautical miles. The throttle is up, so let me reduce the throttle some more. 110 nautical miles. The altitude is slowly coming down. That's good. So I would like to keep this at this level until we get a better view of the airport. So here we are, the airport, and we want to make sure that we're not going to run short of the runway. That's what happened last time, and let's see if we can manage the speed, throttle, and the altitude a little better this time. Just as we cross the entrance of the runway, we're going to take the autopilot off and drop the throttle all the way. The runway is 4.8 miles, so we're not far off, so our speed is dropping. So I would like to get the throttle a little more, keep it around 100, and we need to come to 1500 feet. So we drop the flaps one level at this time, so we can slow the plane. It's 1500 feet here, slowly coming down. You can drop the speed 4 nautical miles, still have some distance. Flaps 1, and we'll probably drop the flaps when we get to 500 feet. We'll drop the flaps to level 2 and drop the speed to like 80 nautical miles until we are very close to the runway. In that way, we are not losing the altitude too much. 3 nautical miles, that's good. So we have flaps 1, it's coming up around 1000 feet. As I said, the distance seems to be quite short, 2 miles, and we are still like 900 feet. So we're going to get a 500 feet alert. So we are coming in too fast, it says, so let's cut the speed down a little bit. Throttle. The throttle is down a little bit. We are coming down. Alright, 87, 86 is fine. So this is coming along pretty good, 600 feet. We are pretty close. And let's go to flap number, I want to get through past 500 feet before we get to flap 2. So 75 miles, they will keep it at 500 feet. Let's keep this, that's good. 70 miles is fine. Flap 2, so we're bringing it down some more, and we are 400 feet. I just want to give it a little throttle so that we maintain the speed, and pretty soon we'll get inside the cockpit. And 300 feet, so let's get inside the cockpit here, and that's fine. We need to reduce the throttle, go to flap 3. That's fine. Flap 3 down, and throttle off, let it slide. Brake. Okay, that's a successful landing, I would say, considering that we were stalled and we recovered from the stall in the middle of the flight. One of the things I wanted to do was probably take off get inside. My autopilot must have been disengaged. Autopilot was still on, so I think most people would take the autopilot off. See, we set it for 42 degrees, it landed at 40 degrees, and if you go back to the airport here, so we are a couple of 3-4 feet from here, so this may be 42 degrees. So that's a ILS landing at night. I hope you like this. Thank you so much for watching, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we have plenty of videos on beginners experience with Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. We'll see you with another episode of Microsoft Sim 2020.